Yeah, way off in here because I did did everything in terms of starting off wrong. Dark Moment was Ixia back again with Project Outfox, more on BMU stuff. Luminous, the last head, even though I'm not sure if it's going to be split in half. I have the halfway point over in here, but in terms of things I don't even have it there. So pretty much it is somewhere around there. So yeah, next thing, just as a notice over in here, there is a lot of changelogs in here, but before that I closed the 2 issues that have been there remaining. Attract mode sound, it's in terms of changing certain audio variables. I already brought them over and I said that I was going to bring stuff over potentially. But yeah, I would be saying, yeah, mostly it's done already. Next thing that I said that I pretty much closed, Simply Love profile options. I pretty much brought everything over already, and the certain ones like quick profile switching is something I can't do, especially since you can't even join in a session. That is because it has been set as such. Unless one is playing in Stepmania 507, then it's pretty much a little bit on that side. So next thing is in terms of changelogs, I did a few things. Dealing with frame dimensions warning within old Stepmania. That is dead. Because for whatever reason old Stepmania still has something terrible over there. Next thing, actually I shouldn't be doing this. I think I said this one last time already. Because of, because I activated the graph. Yeah, because of everything in here with key sounds, of course it won't be having any. And even if it has previews, it won't be even having anyone, so of course. And because of all this, I just have it turned off in general, at least within the screen select music stuff. Next thing, display live meter battery correctly. This is because of, function positioning actually a little bit better, and within the initialization, it is actually doing this properly. It is pretty much there. Next thing, adjust graph display for lives. Outfox needs special attention. So yeah, that one is actually, well, first of all, I also removed the add X function that I had at few places because they weren't needed at all. And I added because if it's in live, Outfox has it where it can go above, because like if a boss song pretty much has sets with 70 lives, you can still gain more, and since that is the case, it's pretty much going above 100% because the initial 70 is being set as the maximum, and everything else pretty much, because of gaining stuff it goes above, so I adjusted that one. Also, because apparently I can't even do this in Outfox because there it has been hard capped. It's not even going above the 100%, so I needed to draw stuff myself. That is that. Next thing, Outfox Alpha V needs really special attention, and that is because of setting lives in general. Because for whatever reason I can't set it via battery life stuff because it's being hard coded as a maximum of 4. So I apply it all via the apply game command stuff. And next thing on the next day, additional conditioning and moving stuff around. because, yeah, some stuff that's not needed in Eterna, certain checks within flares, and if it's flares, like if it's within survival, aka it has times, if it is within flare, set it back to bar and normal drain. Same thing if it's with lives, then go back there. And in terms of everything else, I apparently forgot an empty space, more on that later. And I moved some functions around within the options.lua section. Also in terms of certain things, I checked stuff the incorrect way, where that's also Eterna specific, so they have been changed. Next thing on the next day, various little fixes, that's a whole bunch. Mainly for 2 of the ranges, because I forgot that 0 is part of the range as well, so that has been added as well. Certain stuff where I said steps or trails instead of steps or trail, because there's only one trail and multiple steps. No multiple trails, that's no. And pretty much certain other things in here for, yeah, Eterna after a certain while doesn't pretty much, no, actually I am actually assuming that yeah, after a little while it doesn't have the version date function. So I am overriding it myself if it doesn't exist. And somewhat similar to something for just regular Stepmania, because it doesn't have the effect hold at full. And because of that, certain things that I have effect period adjusted because of that, I said that I resetted all of those. And I did a little bit of something for a return value by having it actually go through add to output. Pretty much the same thing. Also, the radar category underscore nodes is something that I need to be doing, because it doesn't exist at lower versions of Stepmania. So yeah, and that's also a check there if it actually exists. The next thing on that day, it's steps or trail, not steps or trails. There's only one trail. They're pretty much that has happened. Pretty much wherever it happened, accidentally, pretty much it should be that. The next day, do get version music path myself if version date is too early. Another stuff in terms of checking if versions are a little bit too early. And yeah, I also added my own function myself. To be having this one conditionaled, but yeah, whatever. And the last thing that I did is pretty much actually, yeah, it is actually nothing. It's just called space, where I added a space at places where there needs a little bit stuff to be more readable, at least in certain things. And that isn't, that is pretty much it. But in terms of everything else, I still have certain things that I have in the back burner. You know what? I'm actually going. Should I even mention them? So why do I have all this there? Either way. Certain things I'm still going through, because I'm also checking all Outfox versions, because I would like to support even older versions, because they are still there. And yeah, another something that's in the back burner, at least I have enabled wipe 3. It is not live, it's only on my end, but it's only conditional. Because, yeah, of one thing that makes it non-available or not accurate. that is there. That is another conditional. That doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I will be going there once it goes there, which is within the first one. After the first song I go through. Everything else is, yeah, pretty much what I said in terms of that. Certain conditions I'm waiting for to get through, and that is pretty much something that I will be going through. Oh yeah, another something that I may actually go through there as well, because apparently both players can have a different lifetime. I think I put this one live as well, since apparently there is no erroring anywhere. So yeah, let's go in. Also, yeah, I said something that I was potentially checking on doing because of M mode being terrible in positions like these, because it calculates stuff with the maximum. That does stuff on M value, the M mod I mean. But yeah, I'll leave it there. And continuing on in here, I even still have to go through, because for whatever reason all this is butchered, at least there. Do I have everything enabled correctly? Should be. Yeah, I said something in terms of Y3 is technically enabled in my... it is not live. So yeah, I am trying on getting this one over. I still haven't get the workaround through, and I'm not really sure if I can get stuff through a different way. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. Everything else is just normal. Yeah. And I think, do I even have auto on? Nope. Okay then. Yeah, first time that. Also, I could show something of. It should be doable in here because, yeah, dots and lines. Pretty much not as fine over in here, because I'm not really sure if it would be doing that one as well or not. Either way, pretty much still all there. And in terms of how I am going to do the backgrounds actually on those, I'm not really sure, because I would be potentially saying it's near invisible. Pretty much in the middle, it's pretty much left side dark blue, right side red. It's pretty much the same as top left. So yeah. And yeah. Also, as I said, if it's in live mode, this graph I have to do myself. Wait, what? I could be doing this one actually, because it doesn't seem that bad. Nice one. So I would be saying it's actually a 7, not an 8. I keep on complaining. La 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 la. Geez, there are so many things in here. So I would be saying it is going to get split, especially if there are this many in here. And all of this as well. In terms of loading. I'm not going to cut out any of those. The fuck, please. Okay then. I haven't done the other things. Okay, I'm seeing something else, and that is pretty much the reason for that. Either way, geez, Twitch is just not doing anything much. Either way, so in terms of going higher over in here, okay, that might be the reason why it's 4, because of that one section there. Okay, of course there's a bit more in here, but the question is what's going on the other one. Okay, that is way too much. Also, I think that is a harsh 7. Fuck, please. Like I said, I should be potentially having certain things put higher. They would be saying, either way, whatever. Yeah, not something, but just something else. Geesh. But at least there's no level 1 in here. That's at least something. So in terms of everything else, I should not even have this here. Otherwise it would be a bit too warm here. Okay, I can pretty much see what's going to be difficult in the next one, but would there be actually any changes in the beginning section? Apparently a little bit, but not much. But the majority of the stuff is at the end section. Of course I failed this one. It's a bit much, and I was expecting that. Gee. Because it's way too much. So yeah, potentially. Yeah, not sure on there, but still. So why is that one pretty much off a bit? What the hell? Either way, the fuck, this one is there. And that, yeah, how about no? Going in this one first, because the usual an S is missing. Okay then. Going over there then. Yeah, same point over there. So not even going over in here in terms of all the points and lines and whatnot. I can go 2 points in here, especially since there isn't much there, and I heard that. Wrong point. There. Now it was there. That's where all this come from. Yeah, fuck off of all this in here. Hello? Nothing else was. It was also the hardest part. Seriously, what the fuck? Can't go and can't do those. Somewhere stuff is on. Yeah, wait. Nah, there's something else, I think. So I'm not really sure if something has been put in the background over there. In terms of that is longer, that also reaches over the null measure. Because otherwise... that would also be something to pretty much watch out for and everything, so... that is off. I can only do this one. So, that is not good. For how many there are still there? Also quite the high point there. Anything else? No. That's just there. Oh yeah, that is already there. And it's just not even much there. Also because of the low BPM, that will be quite a decent, especially if there's actually anything going there. But saying, how long was this actually going for? Because it might have actually been a whole lot there. If it's like 3 minutes, then it's pretty much completely off. This is off. very much I may need to actually... Yeah, that is such a long... Yeah, I'm off. Very much off. Let me guess. 4 minutes? Nah, it's just 3 minutes and it's just 1 entire minute of nothing. Because of people? This is pretty much the stuff of in here that I was pretty much fearing stuff would happen like this. Fuck's sake. So yeah. Keep it as such. It is not a 6, it's a 7 apparently. Which means push it ahead. Agito in here. Also, it was okay. It's mainly again patterns. At least I could do this one though. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, and I will be potentially saying someone did a bit too many. Seriously, I'm not really sure what the hell's going on there. Either way, this is also the reason why certain things should not even be there. I'm not really sure if I can reset certain things as well. Okay then. Oh yeah. This is also pretty much something over in here where I would be potentially saying on this at least, I may need to adjust stuff. Also here actually as well. I'm not sure, I would be potentially saying I could... Well, actually I had been doing that there already, I think. What is that? Depends? Actually, it would be yeah. So, depending, I would be saying I may have an idea on how to pretty much fix all this, but still, this is way off. But he is pretty much elves, and the hell is going on the left side? Well, that's something. I'm not really sure if by accidental there. Very much not sure. Well, I'll do anything else on this one, really. Nah. This one is the only one that I can't even do. Why has it been set on there? I'm assuming quick doubles, and I haven't fixed any of those yet still. I said I was going to, but I didn't. Yeah, I can't do any of those. Even though it admits pretty much repetitive and supposedly easy, no it's not. Especially because of how fast you have to go on those. That's a whole bunch in here. And that's still on the good side. Hope they are done quickly. Sigh though. God damn it. Well, ruining stuff by doing null measures. Well, if it desyncs, it's not my fault. Okay, there's this bullshit again. So yeah, let it run. How many had there been put here? About 10 or something? There's been something put. Done yet? I am not doing the other ones over in here because that one is on the DC as well. So pretty much whoever snapshotted this one is the fault for this. Because it has the same problem. And somewhere is even worse apparently. That one apparently is the only one I can do. Not even checking if there's actually someone with a 7 over in here, because if the beginner is already on 6, sheesh. Also a whole bunch to be loaded here, the usual stuff. Is there even anything there? I'm not sure. So yeah, D7 then. Okay. Why was I even waiting there? I was looking at the sides. Also, get downstairs. Also, geez, what the hell? Again with the PPMs in here. Leave it with the effects. You're just ruining everything. Thanks. Okay then. I don't think why because of the rapids at point. Seriously, I'm not really sure why this counts as this. Depending on stuff, I may need to do something else entirely. Because there, then it depends. Just going through in here because it's the only one in here and I have to go through everyone. What is this, hey? Just what the fuck is going on with that background video as well? Fuck, please. Of course I can't do this one. Also, that one is also one that is actually not supposed to be there. Really not sure. It's the only one. There's a disconnect somewhere in here. Which may add half a minute. Is it not supposed to be longer or something? Seriously, with those multi-cuties in here, can you leave it at least for those? That was a bit... I pressed that. Not supposed. Also, I'm not even going there because bleh. Why is that on here? Milky Way, that's pretty much the reason. And that one is here because... Also, why has it been set as... Also, I'm checking what is going on at that 7, that's actually a 10. But the 4 being actually a 7, and that's something else. The hell with this, please, as well. And that's supposed to be a 4. Yeah, it's a...